Hi, Adam. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Oh man, excited. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to having a good conversation.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here, like I said earlier. And you see, Adam, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Adam, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it. I walked past it and I went my way.
Man,
But you
you're
see,
making me
Adam,
hungry now. Now I want some mangoes.
come on,
Now I want some mango
I
candy
tell
or
you,
something.
I
Some
tell
dried
you,
fruit. Can I
I,
dried
oh
mangoes? What do I
man.
get?
So
Doesn't
you
have to
see,
be fresh. I'll take a dried
you
one.
take
A
it
dried
dry,
mango sounds good.
okay, and that's so healthy too. So then I was on that same road just recently. Then, oh boy, I saw the mango tree and I was amazed. And the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now
Mm,
the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. Beautiful green
mm-hmm,
leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. Very
mm,
beautiful. It was a beautiful moment for me that day, a very special one at that. Here's my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Adam that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show. Because I
mm,
was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, it's amazing. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Adam is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are
mm.
today with the amazing Adam. Thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had
Mm.
said nope, there was nothing I could do about it. Thank you so much, my man.
Man, and thank you for the ideas for some of that lunch too. Mangoes is on the plate. That's happening this week. I need some mangoes in my life, so thank you.
So I love that. I love that, my man. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show um, today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. You see, I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. And not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Adam, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Adam on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Adam, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of informations flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I'm totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Adam and man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. Right now, we are so curious. We want to know how Adam got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Adam, over to you.
Well, first thing I want to say is I'm a big fan of podcasting and the podcasting platform, like just what you're doing, what other creators are doing, and how they're doing it. I mean, the fact that we can connect from all around the world, really, and do episodes together and collaborate and create this really treasure chest of knowledge, I think is it's really my fascination. So, as a podcaster and as a host. I mean, I've done over, and just as an entertainer, I've done over 6,000 episodes. So if you think about that, that's a lot of episodes. And in my opinion, I'm really just getting started. Like I've done maybe 3 or 4 episodes this morning. Like people that are like, well, how many episodes or what are you doing or why do you do this? Well, I'm on this mission. I'm on this mission to help other people share their mission and their stories because I feel like everybody's voice, their talent, their stories, their backgrounds, I feel like it needs to be heard. Like everybody has a story in them. Like some people are gonna like my show and they're gonna listen to that. Some people are gonna like your show, they're gonna listen to yours. Like no one voice, I feel, needs to be heard. I think all of our voices, especially through the podcasting platform, can be heard. And I think that's a very special thing. I think that's something that shouldn't be overlooked. So, me, quite frank, I'm a podcaster. I love it. That's what I do. I've been doing it for going on 9 years now, and that's really my fascination, and that's what I bring to the table today. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Proceed, please, sir.
Perfect. hmm Yeah. So that's what I do. So and everybody can obviously check that out, missionmatters.com or on Instagram, ask Adam Torres. So either way, like that's where you can kind of go and see some of my work.
Awesome, beautiful. But I'm still a bit curious. Can you give us some background? I was growing up like. Can you talk to us about that?
hmm Yeah, of course. So, my background's in finance. So I was in finance for almost 14 years. I was in that business for quite some time, and I managed a little under $200 million. And at some point, I launched a book. When I launched that book, it kind of changed things for me. When I launched that book, it changed things for me I would argue for the better. Like when I was in finance, I did enjoy that career, but it was all, I won't say it was exactly mission driven. I was definitely money driven. And there's money in what we do now, but I will say that like melding that concept of purpose, those ideas of with purpose, with mission, and where my life has gone now and helping others share their story, is just very meaningful to me. And really, in making that transition from finance into media, like I'm not going to say it was an easy one, and it was definitely a rocky road. And you got to think about it like this: I was your corporate suit and tie guy going to work every single day. Then all of a sudden, I'm in media and I'm doing podcasts and I'm writing books and I'm traveling and all these other things. I think people thought I was crazy. Like, what is Adam doing? Did he go crazy? Like, where did this come from? Right? So it was definitely a transition, but over time, I think people got it. Like my friends, my family, like people got it. They understood what I was doing, and then of course they supported me.
Amazing. That's a great one. You see, I love the fact that you were able to differentiate between money driven and purpose driven, mission driven.
hmm
I got that. Okay, so let us talk about personal brand. Why is building a personal brand important?
Mm. Yeah, the personal brand, I tell you, it's one of the things that many people feel that they don't necessarily have to do, but what they don't realize is that if you don't have a personal brand, if you don't have like online, if you don't have social media, if you don't have that, that is a personal brand. That brand is called being out of touch. That brand is called not being in tune with media, not being in tune with what's happening in society. Like nowadays, if you're not part of the conversation, that is a personal brand. So what I found in my career is, and even through our personal brand accelerator that I teach, is that many of the like best stories will go unheard. many of the individuals that are out there, like really making a difference, they don't really get heard. And the reason is because they don't have a personal brand. They don't have a platform. They don't have an outlet for people to hear their voice. People don't know what they're doing. And because of that, like their work stays, even if they're doing well, they could be doing that much better had they build, and if they build a personal brand to showcase what they're doing.
Beautiful. I got that. Okay, so how can someone start building their personal brand? Just like you just
Mhm.
mentioned now, and they get really inspired. Okay, I got it, Adam. So how can I start building my personal brand?
So the first thing is you have to really evaluate yourself and think about what your talents are and how you want to interact. Now, you in your case, for example, like you're a podcaster, so you can talk, you talk very well. You enjoy it obviously, or you wouldn't be doing it. So you're a podcaster. Not everybody wants to be on camera. Not everybody wants to be behind a microphone. Some people are scared or intimidated, or that's just not their thing. That's okay. Maybe somebody wants to write instead. Like maybe you want to write. Maybe you want to. I mean, there's many different ways to do this. So I think the first thing you have to do is do a self assessment on what kind of things you like doing, what kind of content you want to create. And once you kind of do an assessment there and decide, like, okay, this is the kind of maybe some of the mediums that I want to do it, then you want to think about why do you want to do it? Like, for what reason? Like, are you gonna, create a podcast just because you want to create a podcast to hang out with your buddies and record it, or is there some purpose why you want to create a show or why you want to create content and behind it? Like in my case, for example, with our shows, Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executive, and experts. Like we want to be that voice that maybe other people don't get to hear. Like they don't get there. There's not enough media outlets out there that are providing the opportunity for people to share their story, in my opinion. So that's what we created Mission Matters to do. So that doesn't have to be what somebody else wants to do. That was just our thing. So in terms of like their personal brand, like think about it, like why are you going to do it? Like why are you going to do it? And why does it matter? And if you can answer those questions of why you want to create content, and then also like how, like what kind of platforms are you going to create? An Instagram account? Are you going to create a LinkedIn account? Are you going to do both? Like all those things. If you can figure that out, then you're well on your way to at least starting to create the personal brand.
That's right, and I got that. And I think podcast is also a great means too. But I might be
hmm
wrong. Do you think people should consider starting a podcast?
I mean, podcasting has completely changed my life. Like it's been one of the best things I've ever done. So for me personally, I think I can't think of a reason why somebody wouldn't. I mean, you can, whether it's to network, whether it's to get your word out there, whether it's to create a show. Like I really can't think of at this point. I've been doing this so long. I don't know why somebody wouldn't start a podcast.
I tell you, it has been of a great help so far for me too. It's amazing, I
What has
tell
it
you.
done for you? I'm curious. What has it done for you? I'm so
Mm,
curious.
it has connected me with diverse folks like
hmm
you, one, and even amazing audience. I tell you, just to think about it. Before I started podcasting, all right, it was very, very difficult to reach folks in other countries. Like intentionally, I'm talking about rich relationship where you've got some devoted folks who are so committed to what you're doing, not within your country now, but outside. But you see, when I started my podcast in 2021, the first listener I heard, I got the first person that got a listen came all the way from, I think, Ghana. And that's way far from my country. Then the second from the United States. So I was really shocked and amazed that, wow, really? Just like that? So it's been of a great help. Yeah, I tell you. And in terms of connections, getting to meet amazing people who's got this incredible insight, just like you, it has been game changing, my man, I tell you. So,
hmm
so let us talk about media, all right? How can media help people share their story? Okay, do you get that? Should I repeat it?
No, no, it cut out. Can you say
Yeah,
it
yeah,
again?
yeah, sure. I said, how can media help people share their stories?
Well, I like to think about media is that's kind of like that's the amplifier. Really. So when you think about like when you're think about it like this, you're having a conversation with your friends and you have that little circle of people around you, maybe your friends, maybe your colleagues at work. Like that's like okay, so people know you locally, let's say, in your immediate circle. What media does is it helps you get outside of your immediate circle, and depending on what level of media you reach, it can help you go worldwide. And and it's one thing to say that okay, I have an Instagram page, right? Ask Adam Torres, and so technically speaking, any country that can access Instagram, in theory, can see me, can find me, can see my content. That's one thing. But when you think about media, think about it more so as that's the promotional vehicle behind that. So media you use to distribute your message to larger audiences, and also to drive traffic to things like maybe your Instagram page, like in my case, Ask Adam Torres, or maybe into the podcast Mission Matters. So media, think about it, is that's kind of like your bullhorn, or that's the thing that you use to transmit your message to a larger audience so that people will ultimately pay attention to what your content is, and it helps you break through the noise. I mean that's what you want it to do. And there's different tiers of media. There's higher level media outlets, there's lower level media outlets. Your tier one would be like, the big ones like your Wall Street journals and things like that. And then you go all the way down. There's tier two, tier three, and so on.
Amazing. Now I see why you're so good at what you do. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's talk about the best ways to get media exposure. Can you talk more on that?
Mhm. Well, a couple of things. First thing that I like is there's this really cool website. It's called Haro, Help a Reporter Out. And that's where I got some of my first media features. So if you don't have a lot of access, I mean, you can obviously hire a PR agency or something like that, and you can hire somebody to do it. But a good way to kind of get your feet wet and to just kind of start is go to like Haro, Help a Reporter Out, and that's where you can start thinking about media and media features. And what it does is it allows you to connect with other people and with media outlets. And because when you think about journalists are always looking for stories, they're looking for commenters, they're looking for all those different things. I think that's a good spot for people to start, and to just especially when you're just starting out, like that's a
Okay, you first. Can you still hear me?
oh yep, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So I got that. Can you repeat the website again?
It's called Haro, Help a Reporter Out, and let me make sure I got it right. So it's gonna be let's see, Haro, Haro.
Haro. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, got it. Haro. Reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Not so sure the rest.
No, Haro, Help a Reporter Out is what it's called.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. That's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful one. Thanks for sharing that, my man. Okay, so we have two more questions to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you mentioned, working with entrepreneurs, and so how can entrepreneurs use media to grow their brands?
I would say that the first thing number one thing, and this is going to be pretty obvious, but I would say going on to podcasts, like podcasting, like that's your number one, in my opinion, nowadays. That's your number one thing to do. Like that's going to be what it's the best way to get your message out there. I like the service that we use as well, and the service that I met you through, which is Podmatch. That's a
Yeah,
great. I mean, this is a great tool.
a
How has
great tip.
been your experience with Podmatch? I'm curious.
Oh man, Pod Match, amazing too. When they say turning impossibility into possibility, that's Pod Match.
Mm,
Yeah, making
mm,
stuffs like that very, very seamless, connecting you with
mm.
amazing folks. I tell you, ever since I've been using the tool, I haven't even regretted, not even for one day. I tell you, the minds behind Podmatch are excellent minds, wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, it's been amazing. And thank you for making
Yeah,
reference to that. Okay.
have to.
All right. You asked me how was podcasting helped me, and I told you. So now it's your
Mm.
turn. How has podcasting changed your life? Can you talk to us about some of the things?
I mean, first thing is I've done over 6,000 interviews now. So the relationships that I've made through those 6,000 interviews it's insane. Like, and every year the shows get bigger. Every year the
It's a
opportunities get
lot.
bigger. And I'll give you one example. This is hilarious for the people at home. That aren't watching the video, they're not going to be able to see this, but what I'm doing is I'm holding up a bag of coffee right here. So check this out in the thing. It's Arabica coffee, and if you look at it, there's my face, my name on that logo, and so I mean I represent even a coffee brand, Arabica coffee. You can check it out at Arabica1976.com, and it's kind of interesting because when I think about like would I ever think that I'd be promoting coffee or that I'd be in the position to travel and do all of the things I've been able to do. That all came to me by podcasting. Like it all came to me from podcasting and expanding my network. And I like to think about it as like almost like I'm just spreading love. I'm spreading karma. I'm spreading other people's story. And because of that, like the universe, God, like energy, like I'm
Yeah.
rewarded for that. And by just going out there and spreading love. And you see it, like I see it every single day, making these connections, making this connectivity, like, and so that to me is special. So I think it's really just for me, podcasting has been a way to spread love and joy like throughout the world. So I think it's
Out
not
the world.
just been, just not just the monetary side of things. Okay, that's good. That's one thing, but a lot of different ways you can make money. In this case, when I believe podcasting, you're making money for helping others. That's the way I see it.
That's the way it is, exactly. Amazing. So to
Hmm.
bring this to an end, Adam, my man, or you like to leave the audience with like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about
Yeah.
everything we've discussed, or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
Well, first thing, I love for people to connect with me on Instagram. So ask Adam Torres, connect with me on Instagram, and send me a message. Let me know that you heard this. Love to connect. Love to see what kind of projects you're working on. So connect with me on Instagram. If you want to listen to the shows, anything else, if you just connect on Instagram, you're going to see there's a link tree there. If you click on that link, you're going to see a bunch of free stuff. We got downloads. We got free ebooks. We got other things. I believe we create more free content than maybe any media outlet of our size in the world. Really, we're creating thousands of episodes, thousands of just plenty of free content. So go connect with me on Instagram. And my final thought is be careful and be aware of your personal brand. Like your personal brand is important, and if you're not working on it, just understand this: somebody else is working on it for you. You don't know. Don't let somebody else write your story. Don't let somebody else write your story for you, because you don't know how long you're gonna, how much time you have to write it, and how much time you have to make your difference in the world that you want to make. And one of the ways to do that is by creating content and by being careful and to manage your personal brand. So, and last thing I'll say is get that podcast going. If you've wanted to do it, it's always been something. It's on your bucket list or thing that you want to get done. Man, stop waiting. Go get it done.
Stop waiting, go get it done. Got that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Adam. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing these beautiful stuffs with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate you and keep up the great work. Thank you for all you do.